Big news today as DeepSeek R1 have released their new model DeepSeek R1 058, so the 28th of May basically, and this is available for free. Now, I'm going to show you how to access this, how to basically build anything that you want using this, and how it performs versus other models. So you can see here DeepSeek R1 0528 and the May 28th update to the original DeepSeek R1 performance is on par with OpenAI R1, but open source and fully open reasoning tokens. And it's actually got a huge increase in context, I believe. And also you can see how it performs down here. Now it's available in many different apps, but I'll show you some of the best ways to use it today. So one of the top most commonly used sources of this is actually going to OpenRouter, and it's available in root code and client as well, so you can start coding with it. And additionally, it is popping off right now. So we're going to get straight into this. If you want to know, okay, how can you access it? I've actually got the resources inside the AI Success Lab, which is completely free. It's a community, link in the comments and description if you want to get access to this stuff, and we'll just get straight into it. So if you want to start using this, you can go to OpenRouter, then you can type in DeepSeek R1. You'll see two different models here. So you can see DeepSeek R1 0528 free in brackets, and then also DeepSeek R1 0528, right? So two different models, one of them's free, one of them's not. If you want to use it for free, make sure you use the free one. And then from here, you can go to chat, or you can compare it side by side. So for example, if we go to the model comparison here, we can compare and see how it performs. So let's open up another model, for example, like ChatGPT 03, OpenAI 03, right? We can compare them side by side. So you can see here the context length is actually a lot smaller on DeepSeek on the new version versus OpenAI 3. The provider here also got the pricing, so obviously this is free, this is not. And also DeepSeek R1 0528 is open source. Right? And then you can start using it. If we go to Go Model down here, click on Chat, we can start using this and building stuff out. We can also connect it to web search, and then in the settings we can choose what we want to do, get markdown, etc. And then we can run some tests through it. So let's try something simple, like for example, let's see what we got. I'll take some tests from the AI Success Lab. So let's say, for example, we want to build out a, let's have a look what we got here. Something similar like, I don't know, build out keyword game with prompts. We'll wait for that to load. So you can see it's basically a reasoning model, right? So it's going to think out what it's going to do first before it starts building out the actual code. Now it's replying to us. Now it does take quite a long time to actually reason out, so it's taking 40 seconds right there to come back to us, and then it will start with the responses here. Because there's so little information out about this, I don't know if it's actually been released on DeepSeek.com. So for example, we go to DeepSeek.com here. We can start using R1 in the chat, but there's no announcement of DeepSeek 0528, which makes me wonder, okay, is the actual update inside there or not? So wait for this to load. To be fair, it's super slow when it's come back to us. Like, you can see how long this is taking to come back. But it's going to be interesting to see what we get back. In the meantime, we can actually open up another tab and run another chat on the same model. So we'll take some of the previous prompts I've tested Claude 4 with. For example, like this. Plug that in and see what we get back. Whilst we're waiting for that to load, you can also see that it's available on DeepSeek R1's Hugging Face. So if you go to DeepSeek AI on Hugging Face and then go to their latest R1 update, you'll be able to get access to this, right? Which you can see right here. Now, if you want to start using this inside Hugging Face, you can actually go to Inference in Providers over here on the right, and then you can just type in whatever you want to do directly down here. So for example, if we type in the sentence, create a visually stimulating Space Invaders game, blah, 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 it's going to start reasoning and working right there. So that's another way to get free access to it. And also you can grab an API from OpenRouter and then start coding with it as well. I'll come on to many different ways to build stuff later. So whilst we're waiting for that to load, what we'll actually do is we'll open up Visual Studio Code. And if we go inside Visual Studio Code, go to, for example, Client, and then select OpenRouter, and then in the drop down here, we can type in DeepSeek. I can't see it in Client, to be fair. Let's have a look inside OpenRouter. See if we can get access to 0528. There we go. All right, so it's available inside Ruko. Doesn't seem to be available inside Client. So we'll hit save on that. Then we can start building with it. And if we go inside the AI Success Lab, we can have a little go at some of this stuff, right? Now, if you want to get all these prompts, it's inside the AI Success Labs. Feel free to get that. what I'm going to do is just plug in this prompt, like you can see. And we're using DeepSeek R1 to start building with that, right? So you can code with it, you can use it inside the chat, you can get free access to it as well on OpenRouter, and it's pretty simple and easy to use. Now, if we go back to the chat room, we've got the flashing keyword memory game. So what we can do from here, if we scroll down, that is a lot of code, is we can grab that and then we can preview that on LiveWeave. So now, wow, that's pretty crazy actually. So we've got the game, it works perfectly. Here we go. Let's start up. So basically what we're doing here is we're looking at the sequence that it comes up with the colors and then trying to get them back, repeat them back in the same way, right, as you can see. But the game works perfectly, which is pretty cool. That was easy to do, worked pretty nicely. Definitely better than the old R1. Like the old R1, usually that would have broken with situations like that. So pretty impressive so far. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code, see what we're getting back here. So it's running the API request. Again, it is quite slow to code with. You know, if you're using something like, I don't know, Gemini 2.5 Pro, Gemini 2.5 Pro is way, way faster when I've seen this stuff. But R1 is free and it's open source as well. And I'm sure that you'll be able to use R1 0528 on Olama eventually as well, which means that you can host it locally basically. So waiting for that to load. We can see what it's doing right here. Now we've got the Space Invaders game as well. So again, like if you're worried about this taking too slow or too long, you can build multiple things out at the same time and then get it to come back to you, right? So that's probably the easiest way to get the most out of DeepSeek if you're trying to code with it or trying to build stuff with it. So if we go over to LiveWeave again, we'll take that previous code that we built. And we'll plug this in, see what we get back. So this is Dopamine Space Invaders. Let's start the mission. That's pretty cool, to be fair. How do we shoot though? That's what I want to know. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, it's just, that is spiking the dopamine right there. This is pretty hard, to be fair as well. That's a hard game. So, some pretty cool stuff right there. You can see how easy this stuff is to build out as well. And everything that I've built with R1 so far, it's just worked perfectly, which is crazy because the visuals and everything are working really nicely on that. So we've built Flash code, we've built Dopamine Space Invaders. What we're going to build next? Well, let's see what we've got from Visual Studio Code if we go back here. So it's beginning to code out here. So it is taking a long time though. What, 225 seconds already? That is, oh, it's going to take about 5 minutes to code something out, which is not ideal. I wonder as well whether the API is just getting rinsed on the free mode as well. That's probably the other thing. Let's see if it's actually updated inside chat.deepseek. I think the only way to do this is really just run the same test and see what you get back. So if we go inside the chat room here, we'll grab the same prompt that we used earlier. Let's grab that. And then we'll plug that into DeepSeek R1 over here. Hit enter, see what we get back. All right. Now, there's been no official announcement from what I know of by DeepSeek, like on Twitter or anything like that. There's not even been like a blog or a white paper released on R1 0528. So it's quite a quiet release, right? They've just kind of casually released this. Let's have a look if they've actually announced anything on this. So this is DeepSeek's official Twitter. If you scroll down, they've not even tweeted since March the 25th. So there's no official announcement that's come out from DeepSeek either, which is interesting. So it's super quiet, super chill, but I mean the model is powerful. It's powerful. It's worked really well so far. Let's run some more tests now. So we'll grab another prompt here. We'll say create a game where you spin a wheel and always win rewards with slot machine sounds, new tiers, confetti, etc. We'll plug that in here. We got some awesome comments, by the way. Argentina YouTube says, Julian, you're the best. Yusuf says, yeah, he's the best. Mr. Spin says, huge fan. Julian, thanks for the content. Happy to help. We've got some good vibes in here for sure. All right, let's see what we get back then from this. So we're going to hit save. And now it's creating the HTML. And now we can run it. So let's see if this actually works and if it's decent. I mean, we've used a standard model and you can see how much it costs. It's ridiculous. $0, 0.0088 cents. It's not even 1 cent to build this out. So let's run it and have a look what we get back. Here we go. And that was pretty easy to build, right? It didn't quite do exactly what we wanted, to be fair. So we said build a keyword rain game where keywords fall from the sky. It didn't really give us that back, but still, not bad at all. Now, if we go back here as well, we've got the response back from Hugging Face. So let's take the code from here and run it as well. Grab that, run it in Liveweave. If you ever want to run HTML, I would recommend Liveweave, to be fair. It's pretty easy and simple. So we've got Neon Space Invaders. What a time to be alive. We'll hit start game and see what we get back. It's looking pretty cool, isn't it? By the way, all of this stuff has worked first time round. And that game is looking pretty cool. I can't even get that one. There we go. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So, I mean, 3 shots out of 3. It worked on all of the stuff that we tested. Created everything in one shot. Seems super powerful. And you can get free access. I've shown you how. Now, if you want to get all the resources from today, that's inside the AI Success Lab. Just click the link in the comments description. You go to the AI Success Lab. It's a community with 8,100 members. You can post inside the community here. And then inside the classroom as well, you can just go to the AI course, scroll down, go to DeepSeek R1, and everything is available for you directly free inside here for the DeepSeek R1 0528 update. Plus there's loads of cool stuff in there as well, but you can see exactly how this works and how to get access. So that's basically it. To be honest, this looks way better than the old version of DeepSeek R1. Seems way more powerful. And by the way, if you want to get a free AI automation strategy session, feel free to get that link in the comments description. We can just jump on this call and help you figure out how you're going to automate stuff. And additionally, if you want to get the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. This basically comes with an amazing community. We make custom videos for all the community members each week directly inside the feed here. If you post any questions, you get answers back pretty quickly, like you can see right here. And then additionally, it comes with all my best AI automations, workflows, etc. And there's also weekly coaching sessions. So you can jump on the weekly coaching sessions, get any help or advice that you need, and we'll be happy to help. So feel free to get that link in the comments description to the AI Profit Boardroom. And the prices are going up next month, so make sure you sign up now before you miss out. Cheers. Nobody else uses RU code. They point out the other options. It's true. As a YouTuber, this dude's level of grind in terms of video production is nuts. I'd love to see a special on how you actually manage your content creation. I've got a lot of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom on like how I'm so relentless with the, creating content, because AI helps me a lot and it saves a lot of time. And then Mr. Shin says, I'm at a gig playing guitar so I can't hear. What do y'all think of it? Love that, man. Love that you're at a gig playing guitar and you're watching videos about DeepSeek, man. Shout out to you. So it's really good. It is good. Very good so far. And Sam says only put out like 3 videos a week. I would still say that's good, man. I mean, there was a point where I was just putting out 1 video a week and still got some traction, still landed clients from it and that sort of thing. But I think, yeah, if you really want to get momentum, video every single day and you can get some awesome momentum, and it's just like really, really good. And so that's basically it. So next what we're going to do is we're going to come on to some more tests with DeepSeek R1 and the new model. And this should be a lot of fun. All right. So what we're going to do, 1 second. DeepSeek R1 0528 versus Claude 4 versus Gemini 2.5 Pro. Who wins? Today we're going to be testing them out side by side and just seeing which one creates the best possible output. So if you want to start using the new update from DeepSeek R1, you can go to Open Router, then go to the chat. Make sure that you have selected free if you want to use a free version. I'm actually going to use a paid version just in case the free version lets me down today. And then you can see that we can enable web search or anything like that as well if we want to, but we'll go with that for now. In the meantime, what we're also going to do is we're going to run Claude 4 with exactly the same prompts side by side. And not just that, we'll also be testing out Gemini 2.5 Pro and just putting each of them to a battle, a coding battle, and seeing which one gives us the best results. And by the way, if you want to get all of my resources on DeepSeek R1, the update, how to access it, what it means, etc., plus all my new SOPs and updates on AI, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. It's a community of 8,000 people, and you can join it, link in the comments and description, all right? So we're going to get straight into this and start running some prompts on this bad boy and seeing which one performs the best. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to make sure that we have Claude Opus selected. So we're going to use Opus 4, like you can see. Then we're going to use DeepSeek R1, and we've got Gemini 2.5 Pro ready to go over here. Now I'm just going to select Canvas as well so we can preview directly inside the chat. For DeepSeek R1 on Open Router, if we run some code, we'll have to use liveweave.com to preview it. And let's just get this bad boy started. Let's get this AI party started, all right? So I'm going to run this prompt side by side on each model and see what we get back. If you want all the prompts from today, it's inside the AI Success Lab. Just go down to the classroom and then you'll find them inside the classroom there. We can compare them side by side and which one performs the best. Now, speaking 100% honestly, I have a feeling that Gemini 2.5 Pro or Claude 4 are going to be overpowered for this. But at the same time, when I've tested out DeepSeek R1 0528 today, I was so impressed. It was so powerful that I thought, you know, maybe we could actually compare them side by side, and R1 can give them a good run for their money. Now, bear in mind as well, DeepSeek R1, if you're using the free version of OpenRouter, number one, it's open source, but number two, you can get access for free. And so it's very interesting to compare these models. You can use Gemini 2.5 Pro, but there are limits, right? And Claude obviously has limits as well. So it'll be interesting to see, okay, which one performs the best and how they perform side by side. Now we can see them all coding here. It'd be interesting to see which one finishes first. So it looks like Claude Opus finished first, as you can see. Let's pull this up full screen and see what we got back here. So what we asked for was a drums visual, right? A dopamine drums visual, a circular drum machine interface, tap to beat, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what we got. It's just incredible, isn't it? And then we got a little progress bar at the bottom, I think. Let's play that. All right, so now we've also got the response back from Gemini 2.5 Pro. So one thing to note here is already DeepSeek R1 is a lot slower than the other two. But here's what I would say is that Gemini 2.5 Pro actually failed. So it didn't create anything, and there's an error. So we can click on fix error like so, but just one thing to bear in mind there is actually Gemini 2.5 Pro failed on that test. So it's going to be interesting to see how DeepSeek R1 performs and what it comes back with. In the meantime, I can just ask Opus to level this up a little bit. And also what I'm going to do with Opus is I'm going to select extended thinking inside the options here just to make it even more overpowered. So if we say to Opus, right, improve the UI, make it more interesting, plus fun and enjoyable, plus crank up the dopamine levels. We'll wait for that to code out. Yeah, DeepSeek R1 is super slow on these tests. What I'm actually going to have to do, I think, is run multiple tests at the same time, right, with DeepSeek R1, because you can see how slow it is and how much time it's taken to get back to us. So in the meantime, what I've actually done is run another test in the background, and this is for a flashing keyword game. So let's see what we got back from DeepSeek R1, see how it performed, etc. It is quite a lot of code, to be fair. So we're going to take the code from the second test. Copy that and we'll preview it. This is pretty cool though. So this is another one that DeepSeek R1 just one-shotted, like you can see. So if we spin that to win, pretty cool. We can zoom out a bit here as well. There we go. All right, now let's run that same test inside Claude and Gemini. I mean, Claude 4 Opus, it's a goat, isn't it, right now? Look at that. So you got different drum sounds there. It worked perfectly both times we tested it, and that was pretty easy and simple to do. So we're going to X off that, and then we'll start a new chat over here. And we'll go on to the second test, which DeepSeek R2 has already created an output for, but we'll test it on the Opus as well. And then Gemini, let's see what we got back. Oh, it's total trash. Total trash. So Gemini actually failed the first test. It gave us nothing. And DeepSeek R2, DeepSeek R1 0528 actually gave us an error and doesn't seem to have finished the code, as you can see. Now, I'm 99% sure I got charged for that if I have a look at my credits, even though there was an error. So let's see what we got in the credits, see if we got charged for that. Yeah, look at that. You got charged for using nothing. Okay, thank you. All right, so DeepSeek R1 failed the first test. Gemini 2.5 Pro failed the first test. Let's see how Gemini and Claude perform on the second test. Claude obviously won the first round. AI Store on Twitter says is actually one-shot useless. I mean, so far it's like on the second test, DeepSeek R1 0528 worked really well, but on the first test, yeah, I would agree. Like the one shot totally timed out on us and didn't work at all. It's just a little bit too slow, DeepSeek R1 0528. That's what I would say about it. So what we can do with another one is we're going to say, right, build a SERP racing game where we fly through different examples. So if we go inside here, close that. We're going to run this on DeepSeek R1 0528. So build a SERP racing game where you fly a rocket-powered blog post through AI spam sites, collect schema fuel, blah, 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 and we'll wait for that to code out, all right? Now, if we have a look at Claude Opus in its output, this looks pretty cool. So here we go. Let's spin it to win it. Whoa! It's so powerful. It's so powerful, I couldn't even handle it. Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, to be fair, DeepSeek's was okay, but if you compare them side by side, like, let's try these out. So this is DeepSeek R2, DeepSeek R1 0528, and this is Claude Opus. Claude Opus wins. Gemini 2.5 Pro, where are we up to, mate? All right, we got the code here. Let's see on Live Weave what we got. Plug that in. It's not bad, but I don't like the UI. I do not like the UI, right? You can see the words and everything overlapping right there. Let's run this in Canvas. I'm going to say now run it in Canvas. But yeah, I would say overall in the tests, we compare them side by side. So again, Claude Opus won by a long way. Like the flashing headlines, the UI, the sound effects, the UI is super nice. The design is good. Great front end and back end right there. DeepSeek R1 0528 competed. It was definitely in the race. Didn't create something as nice as Claude 4 Opus, but for a free option, not bad at all. And then Gemini 2.5 Pro, as much as I love it, came in last right there. Exactly the same prompt, but the UI is just not as nice. We can wait for the second version on Canvas, but as a one shot, I'm going to say that Claude, DeepSeek, and then Gemini 2.5 Pro. Bear in mind, Gemini failed the first test, so did DeepSeek, and Claude Opus 4 has come out on top for both methods, right? So if we go on here, we'll have a cheeky go on this. Yeah, so you can see how like the text is just overlapping. That doesn't look very nice. We click on spin, there's no sound effects either. Yeah, it's average. I think Opus wins by a long way right there. So let's see what we got back on the next test. And over here, we're going to go inside Claude Opus again. New chat. Build a cert racing game. Do the same inside Gemini 2.5 Pro. Just make sure if you're doing these tests, like you want to be running on Canvas. I always forget to click it. It should be on default, I think. But yeah, there we go. And then DeepSeek R1, it's the slowest model by a long way. Just realize that, like, it is super slow. I think that honestly, Claude for Opus will probably create its output faster than DeepSeek R1, even though we gave DeepSeek R1 the input like 5 minutes ago. Now, some people ask, like, why do I use LiveWeave? I always use LiveWeave for previewing, like, raw HTML, right? So if you have raw HTML, I use LiveWeave unless there's a canvas option. So, for example, Gemini and Claude, they both have canvas options, and so you can easily preview the code that you create directly in there. But if you're using OpenRouter, in OpenRouter, it doesn't have a canvas option, as far as I'm aware, and so you have to run the code through LiveWeave to test it first. So we've got the output back from R1 0528, and we have the output back from Gemini 2.5 Pro. So let's give Gemini 2.5 Pro a chance first. I still don't like the UI. I don't know what's going on here, but whether Opus is making it look bad. But the UI is super boring on Gemini 2.5 Pro. But not bad. I mean, it actually worked, so that's okay. Now let's have a look at Claude's output. So this is Claude's SEO race game. We'll plug this in, see what we got. I mean, isn't that way more fun than Gemini? Look at that bad boy. You're having the time of your life playing that. It's so trippy. It looks cool though. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Now let's test out on DeepSeek R1 as well. Grab that code. Plug it into LiveWeave. And there we go. All right. Here we go. Well, I don't seem to be able to go Oh, there we go. All right, all right, all right. Top blog. It's a weird one. Like the UI is super weird, but it's fun. I mean, if I had to compare them side by side, right? So, for sure, undeniably, Claude Opus 4 absolutely smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. It wasn't even close. Claude 4 Opus won the race, right? Then, if I had to compare the other two, I'm going to go with DeepSeek R1 just because I think it's a bit more interesting as UI. Kind of feels like a Mega Drive game. Let's refresh that. It's a bit more interesting, it's a bit more fun, etc. Yeah, I'm going to go with DeepSeek R1 coming in second right there. So just to recap, test number 1, the game. Only Claude 4 Opus could do it. Test number 2, the the wheel. Gemini kind of failed a little bit, like it was creating something really buggy. DeepSeek R1 came in second, created something okay, but Claude 4 Opus again smashed it. And then on the last round, Gemini created like a really boring game. DeepSeek R1 created a game that was okay, but again, Claude Opus just crushed it, and I don't think anyone can compete with it, to be honest with you. Like, I think Claude Opus is miles ahead of everyone. So that's basically the final outputs from what we've seen. You've seen the tests, you've seen the game, you've seen what you can create with AI now, and for one-shots, Claude 4 Opus is absolutely the GOAT, even compared to the latest update from DeepSeek R1 and everything else. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all of my free resources on DeepSeek R1, how to get access to it, and also a full SOP on how to build anything with DeepSeek R1, feel free to get that inside the comments and description. If you want to get a free AI automation strategy session, feel free to get that link in the comments description to book in a free AI strategy session. Basically on this call, we can look at your business, look at where you can save the most time, and then show you how we can automate it for you. And then additionally, if you want to get coaching, support, community, advice from me, etc., feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. Inside this community, you can ask any questions you have. Once a week as well, we make a video for you based on your biggest problems. We also do coaching calls live in there, and also you get my best automations, workflows, and templates. On top of that, inside here, we basically show you how to make money with AI, right? So it's all about showing you how to make money and save time with AI so that you can get the best results possible. Because it's one thing knowing what the updates are and how you can get access to them. It's another thing understanding, okay, how can that save you time? How can you start implementing that today, right? And that's what the AI Profit Boardroom is all about. So feel free to get that stuff. Link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. DeepSeek R1 0528, how to build anything. Today I'm going to show you multiple different ways that you can use DeepSeek R1 to build basically whatever you want, including how to do this all for free. So one of the best ways to get access to DeepSeek R1 0528, which is the latest update, just came out a few hours ago, is directly inside OpenRouter. Now, if you want to just build out something basic, for example, like we built out this dopamine drums game, you can get that inside the chat, so you can just give it a prompt like you can see, then you can copy that and start using it pretty much instantly. So for example, if we plug this in, You can run this via liveweave.com if you have the raw URL, but you can basically just start using whatever drum machine you just built directly here. Here's an example. So we said like build a beat racer game where you control a ship dodging obstacles to the beat of music, blah, blah, blah. And then you can copy that HTML directly here. This was another game that I built out with flashing keywords. You can start the game, really easy to build out, and yeah, it seems to work a lot in one-shots with DeepSeek R1. Now, you can type whatever you want. You don't have to build games and stuff like that. You can build apps or tools or whatever you want. But basically, inside here, just make sure that you have DeepSeek selected. If you want to use the free version, just select DeepSeek R1 0528 free, and then you can start building with this. So that's the easiest and fastest way to start using it inside the chat. As far as I'm aware, it's not available on deepseek.com. There's been no official announcements of the latest update coming to deepseek.com, so I think this is one of the easiest ways to get access. Now, what you can also do inside OpenRouter, and this will allow you to build a whole lot more. So if you go to the top right and then go to keys, you can get an API key and then start coding with this. So for example, if we go over to Visual Studio Code, inside Visual Studio Code, we can start coding. If we go down to root code, like you can see, then we're going to go to settings, make sure you plug in the API key that you just grabbed from OpenRouter, and then inside the drop down here, we can select 0528, and you can choose between free and normal, right? So standard you're going to pay, but it's super cheap anyway, or if you want to use the free version, you can select DeepSeek R1 0528 free in the drop down, hit done, and now you can start building whatever you want. So for example, super simple example, but if we say like build me a Flappy Bird game in HTML, hit enter, we can use root code and a combination of DeepSeek R1 0528 to start building out for us. Now let's see what we get back and see how powerful it is. From the tests that I've done so far, Claude 4 Opus is still the GOAT, right? I don't think DeepSeek R1 even compares in that way, but when I've tested it, and you'll see this in another video, Gemini 2.5 Pro actually performed worse than DeepSeek R1 in side-by-side tests. I've got another video showing you live exactly how that works, but essentially this is a really powerful model and it's very good at just getting one-shot outputs. So that's one way. Now, whilst we're waiting for that to load, another way that you can start using this, let's just test this out. I want to see if it's available so you can build agents inside NA10. So if we go inside NA10, we'll log in here. And if we set up a new chat trigger to automate an AI agent, and I've got loads of training inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments description if you want to learn about NA10. But if we type in AI agent like so, then from here we're going to click on the plus sign. We'll select OpenRouter as the chat model. And then we can select the latest update from DeepSeek R1. As you can see, it's 0528. Inside the drop down here, we'll just add a system message to make sure this works. And then we'll go inside the chat and just say, are you working? I might need to plug in an API key. Let's double check. Yep, so we need to add it and upgrade. And then that's how you can easily build out AI agents directly inside the chat here. So if we say, okay, are you working? There we go. So it's running the AI agent with DeepSeek R1. Obviously, you know, if you're using DeepSeek R1, it's a reasoning model, right? So you want to use it more for like coding tasks and that sort of thing, but you could easily create a coding agent inside NA10 to build out whatever you want. And then you can see using the DeepSeek R1 0528 method, we've got the response in the chat right here. So it's like, yes, I'm up and running, I'm ready and available, blah, blah, blah. And then also, if you want to use the free version, just make sure you select the 0528:free model right here if you want to build stuff out. But that's how easy it is, and that's how it works. So just to recap here, we've covered how you can use this inside OpenRouter's chat for free. We've shown you how to build out with Visual Studio Code for free. And if you want the full recipe on setting up Visual Studio Code, you can get that link in the comments description to the AI Success Lab. And then finally, we've also shown you how to build AI agents using DeepSeek R1 for free with the 0528 free model. Now let's open up the outputs from Visual Studio Code. So just to recap here, we said build a Flappy Bird game in HTML. Went off, build out, we'll hit save on this, and then we should be good to go on that. Let's see what we get back. So we'll actually run the command for us as well directly here. Let's run that. And we have the Flappy Bird game ready to go. Pretty hard to play, to be honest with you. I'm not very good at this. But there we go. All right. Yeah, there we go. Boom. So AI agents built, Visual Studio Code ready to go, chat ready to go. What else? Well, what we could also do is if we set up something called bolt DIY, we can start coding with that as well, right? So I've actually got a full recipe inside the AI Success Lab where you can get access to this stuff. As you can see, it shows you multiple different ways to run DeepSeek R1. You can get the recipe right here. Basically, if we go inside the recipe and we go over to, let's have a look here what we got. We got bolt DIY. So we'll go to the recipe for bolt DIY. And then we should be able to start running this in our terminal. I'm just going to close Visual Studio Code so it doesn't take up too much memory. There we go. And now we can start building and setting up bolt DIY and from there start coding. So if we copy this from the instructions, open up terminal, grab this. Basically what bolt DIY is, it's kind of like a open source version of bolt.new where you can build and code like websites, apps, tools, etc. So we're going to start setting this up. You just have to run it in terminal first before you can start using it. But it's a simple case of just copying and pasting, pretty simple and easy if you're using the recipe from us. And then we'll run that pnpm run dev. That's going to give us a local URL where we can host it, like you can see. And then if we go over to here, we've got bolt DIY ready to go. We just might need to plug in an API key, but let's test this out first. So if we go down to the DeepSeek list, we've got 0528 over here. We can use a free version if we want to, and then you can build a simple app. So just as a very, very simple app, let's say build a to-do list app. We might have to plug in the API key. Let's see what we get back. So just to clarify here, we're using kind of like a free version of bolt.new that's running locally. We've connected DeepSeek R1 0528 for free inside the chat. And it might take a little while for it to come back to you simply because it's a reasoning model, right? Now, if you changed that API down to like Gemini or Google or that sort of thing, then it would be much faster. But I want to show you how to use DeepSeek R1 because that's why you clicked on the video. So let's wait for that to build out. So now what you can see is it's actually coding out our project files. And the good thing about this is all your chats are saved locally, like you can see on the left-hand side here. So all your old chats, all the old projects, etc., that you built with bolt DIY are available inside the chat history. And then we can wait for this to code out. Now, if you want to run this stuff locally, from what I saw, DeepSeek R1, the latest version was just updated an hour ago, right? So you can actually use the latest version of DeepSeek R1 and run it with Olama. We'll come on to that in a minute and how you can do it. It is quite a big model, not going to lie to you, but it was just updated an hour ago, so it's brand new. We'll come on to that in a second. And then inside bolt.new, this is how you can code stuff out directly. And we'll just wait for that to load. Now, if it doesn't work or you get an error, etc., you can just go back and forth in the chat over here. And also, if you want to see, okay, how well does this perform versus everything else, right? So this is an interesting tweet by Vibath, who says the new DeepSeek R1 0528 is competing with 03 High and 04 Mini Medium on live code bench. So you can see the benchmarks here. So the DeepSeek R1 0528 is coming in fourth behind 04 Mini, 03 High, and 04 Mini, but it's actually ahead of other models, for example, like Gemini 2.5 Flash. So let's check this out on live code bench and see how it performs. Yes, you can see on the benchmarks, it is performing really well on the live code bench. So basically this is a holistic evaluation of large language models, and you can see DeepSeek R1 is coming in fourth over here, and that is above, just to give you a breakdown here, it's above Claude 3.7 Sonnet, above Claude 3.5 Sonnet, above Grok 3 Mini, and it's placing above Qwen 3 as well, right? So it's right at the top of the leaderboard here. I mean, if you look, DeepSeek V3 is all the way down, and DeepSeek R1 0528 is absolutely crushing it. You can also get access via huggingface.co. If you go inside the inference provider section here, and then just type in whatever you want in the sentence, you can start using it directly there. And then if you want to start using this locally, if you want to install this locally, it's pretty simple and easy to do. So what you can do is you can download Olama, which is completely free. I have a full SOP inside the AI Success Lab on exactly how to set it up, etc. But basically you can download Olama, like you can see, and then you can run DeepSeek R1 and other models like Qwen 3, Llama 3.3, Gemma 3, etc. locally. And to do that, once you've installed Olama, just make sure you have it running. So let's open this up. Like you can see, so we've got Olama 2 running in the background. and you'll see it right here. And then once you've got it running, we can open up the terminal. And if we type in the command, for example, like Olama run DeepSeek, which you can copy from here, you can run that in the terminal to install the model locally. So you can see it's installing right here. And then it will take a little while for that to load. But basically, we are now running this locally using Olama DeepSeek R1, right? So you can see this was just updated an hour ago of the latest model. It's completely free to run. We're running it via Olama. And all you need to do once you've got Olama installed and running is copy that, go into terminal, paste that command into terminal, and then you can see it is now running perfectly, right? So if we say, for example, okay, what is 2 plus 2? It's actually pretty fast when it replies, but you can see it now comes back to us pretty much instantly, right? So that's another way that you can run and build anything with it, which is directly inside the terminal, right? So we've talked about 5 different ways that you can use DeepSeek R1. Number 1, inside the chat for basic stuff like writing, coding, etc. You can also use Visual Studio Code with RuCode. From there, you can use bolt.diy. You can also use Olama, and you can grab that API key and plug it from OpenRouter into NA10 and then build your own AI agents as well. If you want to learn how to use all of this stuff step by step, I have a full training course on exactly how to build anything with DeepSeek R1, plus 8 different methods of using DeepSeek R1 so that you can build and code with anything. And today we've specifically focused on the latest update from DeepSeek, which is 0528. So if you want to get all my best trainings, SOPs, etc., feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This is community focused on making you more money and saving you time with AI. It comes with an awesome community where you can post and ask any questions you've got. We also make weekly automations based on what people want to hear and want us to build. So for example, we got 25 comments on this post inside the AI Profit Boardroom where people were like posting, you know, I want to see this, I want to see that, blah, blah, blah. And for every single automation, we actually created a full workflow plus a video tutorial on exactly what to do and how to build it out, right? So if you want us to just build you an automation or help you on any sort of automations, feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom. Massive value right there. And also you get all our best courses, coaching, templates, AI agents, etc. And this community is really just focused on one thing, which is making you more money and saving you time with AI. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. Additionally, if you want to get a free AI strategy session that shows you exactly how you can automate the most important tasks in your business with AI, plus how to actually implement that, feel free to get a free AI strategy session, link in the comments description. We actually do have quite a lot of AI automation clients right now. So if you want to become a client of ours, feel free to book in a free AI automation session, link in the comments description, and we'll be happy to help you. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.